Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm the other guy.
And joining us today is the one and only Charlie Ferguson-Avery. How you doing this morning, Charlie?
Doing good. I currently have a cat on my lap. I'm full of coffee, and that
Nice.
is a good start to the day.
That's awesome.
Yep. We all love cats here on the Weekly
All of
Scroll.
us.
Yep,
Yeah,
every single
there we
one of
go.
us.
That's
There we
animal.
go. But for those that might, I don't know anyone that would watch us that wouldn't know who Charlie Ferguson-Avery is, but for those that might not know who the heck you are, who the heck is Charlie Ferguson-Avery, and what might people know you for?
Right. So I am one half of Feral Indie Studio. We've created a couple of books, including Into the Weird and Wild, Into Possessed Citadel, Ave Nox. We are currently working on a couple of zines for this upcoming year, in addition to the last couple of zines that we've made, including the big ones off the top of my head would be the Vast in the Dark, VyrmHack, They Cry Monster, As the Gods Demand, and weirdly enough, Snail Fancy, our one adventure module.
Hell yeah.
Down right there.
Yes, yes.
Classic.
Shockingly beloved
Yeah.
by us as well, to be fair. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a couple of things from Feral Indie Studio, kind of just sitting around. You know, might be a little bit of a fan of Charlie Ferguson-Avery here on the show. But yeah, I mean, Ave Nox is the one that blew up the most. But I honestly think the first thing I saw from you was probably Into the Weird and Wild, and then oh man, I don't even have it with me. I thought I grabbed everything. But your art book for what eventually became oh my god, what's the game you did with Wet Ink? Or I did the art for?
Oh my god, Never Going Home. Yeah.
Never Going Home. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
the art book for that. Like between that and Into the Weird and Wild, I was like, dude, this guy's crazy. This is incredible. So
Jesus, I keep forgetting about Never Going Home is probably, as far as like what I have done that has like reached out like the most. Never Going Home is it, and I just sometimes completely forget that I did it because admittedly it's because I was just doing the art for it.
Mhm.
And it didn't quite, I mean, maybe there's some sort of weird Stockholm syndrome that comes from like actually like designing the book top to bottom, that for some reason that sticks in my head a lot more.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. But then
I definitely entered into like, I'm a big like VyrmHack guy. Like I really like VyrmHack. I've run it
love Verm.
several times.
I may have questions for you guys then in regards to some
Perfect.
Well, you know
some
we
plans.
did. Have you seen the
You
episode that we
reviewed
did of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually going to do an update to it based on you were talking about the lack of elegance with the 3 dice versus the 2. And I have been thinking about that for years now. And I have been trying to I think I will just go back to like 2 dice, drop the difficulty challenge to 10, and just call it the Lost Pages update. But
No. Yeah, for
Yeah,
anyone that doesn't know,
you can fold in like the Wanderer and what's the other one? The Marshal.
mhm.
You could do a full book, make a 400-page VyrmHack book, dude. That's what everyone's doing right now. They're making a 300-page book out of their really cool lightweight book. That's not fun.
Yeah, we're just going right back to what we tried to get rid of all those years ago. All these damn
no.
400-page tomes that we had
Yeah.
to lug from table to table. And
no, let's keep it in like the weird small indie skirmish scene. Like that's where this belongs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I love a little zine, bro. I do not want a 300-page book most of the time.
No, God, no. It's utterly inaccessible. And also, I still am, even as a child, like having to lug all the 3.5 books in a backpack to my friend's house to play games. I still think my back is recovering from that decades later. No, I won't do it. I won't do it. I actually have a standing and now whether I hold to this over the course of my career, I have a standing policy that I will not make a book over 300 pages.
It's very fair. I mean,
wish
hey,
everyone
honestly,
thought that way.
yeah. I just remember, I mean, there's some games that are like expanding into larger books that I like doing. Like, I'm really excited for Liminal Horrors, like Deluxe Edition, but there's
Yes.
it's a toolkit, like for the most part. Like, it's widely just a toolkit. It's not like it's like, yeah, it's fucking 300 pages, bro. 150 of them are lore. It's gonna blow your fucking mind, dude. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
I mean,
I do.
I think those are the big books that are okay. I will always, and I know this is not realistic for the world, especially with like the cost of things. I will always prefer a bunch of small books than one big book. But that's just because my brain works better in small chunks. Like I prefer reading the physical if I'm just reading the physical. But when we're doing stuff for like the show, I'll read the PDF because I can zoom in on like one paragraph at a time, and my brain can absorb one paragraph at a time. So having a like try to parse and really like take notes and stuff on like a giant 300-page tome that like I can't just like sit back. If I can't lay on my back and read the book without hurting my wrists, like it's too big of a book to take notes on, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at. But I mean you've made some decent sized books, I will say. I mean, these are chunky boys.
Yeah. At 6x9 though. 6x9. Like
that's like a very acceptable, you know.
Yeah. It is a very nice. The 6x9 for a hardcover is a fantastic size. 8.5 by 11 is a bit much, and these are also, I mean, stunning books to begin with. But so based on, I mean, especially with all of this, and then Vast in the Dark, which I have the second edition somewhere back there, and the first edition right here. But you have a tendency, I think it looks like, to do a lot of like setting stuff. Like what makes you like to do? Like, you know, Into the Weird and Wild obviously is when you go into the weird and the wild, into the set and citadels, like a city builder. Vast in the Dark is also kind of like a giant like builder kind of setting thing. What pulls you towards those? I
think funny enough, I was answering a question about the OSR last night that now is going to help me answer this. Because I started making stuff for the old school Renaissance, and that was like back when like Google Plus was still a thing, in the like mid 2010s. That was the stuff I was attracted to. I was like attracted to these. I was attracted to the settings that were being made, not just like here's a lore dump and here's names, here's all this. Here is a toolbox of usable things for playing a game. And I had always wanted to play a game in a big, spooky, scary forest. And even in all the 3.5 stuff, all the Pathfinder stuff, there were books on specific like settings and locations in universe, but there were not any books on how does a scary forest feel? How does one navigate it? What are the rules for that? And even in the OSR, there were like sometimes people would like touch on it, but there wasn't a book that I wanted. There weren't rules that I wanted to use. The closest I came was a book called, and you can definitely see like see the DNA from this, Veins of the Earth, if you've heard of that. Yeah, that was yep. That book was like a bolt of lightning to me. I still do not own a physical copy because it was back when it was going for like I think $60 to $80. I will not. Oh no, more than that. Like
I wish I would have got it for $60, $80. Let me tell you that.
How much you get for, Ryan?
I don't even remember. It was definitely 3 numbers. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. But when I got the PDF, it was like a bolt of lightning. The art was, Scrap Princess. It was just like gross and weird and rough and unpolished. The writing for it was also equally bizarre, but it was immediately usable and interesting. And I wanted to make something like that, but I wanted my big scary forest. And so then I just like, took all the inspiration of like everything that like I wanted from a book, like everything I wanted while exploring a big scary forest, and I put that into the Weird Wild. I did all the drawings in between my lunch breaks while I was working the job I was at, and that was actually my first publication.
Hell yeah.
Was Into the Weird Wild. Like I didn't even do zines before that.
Damn.
And
Wow.
yeah, which to be fair, like I had done an art book ahead of time through Kickstarter, so I did know how that worked. I was working a job at a newspaper, so I knew I, had thousands of hours of practice doing layout. I had access to InDesign. I came from art school, so like I could do my own artwork. It was, I'm not going to say it was easy because it wasn't that, but like I had all the tools I needed to make that book and make it happen. And then it fucking exploded. And now I have a career doing that.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, so to answer the question of like why I'm drawn to that is that's what was interesting to me. That's what I like making. That's what comes easily. And also, if I'm going to make something for somebody else to use, I want to make something that is a toolbox that can be used. And setting books just happen to be very usable for anyone at the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because as you were talking, as soon as you started talking about like 2010, G plus and stuff, I was like, Veins of the Earth like popped into my head. I almost even said it, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, Veins of the Earth." So I was like, "Yep, that's definitely where it's gonna go." Did you happen to know that there's gonna be a Veins of the Earth Redux coming out next year?
No, I did not. I will.
Yeah.
I will have to snag myself a copy.
The False Machine newsletter sent that out like a week or two ago. They said there's a whole big thing that says Veins of the Earth Redux, and I freaked the fuck out. So very very excited for that. But yeah, and then Vast in the Dark is probably the next one that I really saw from you that I fell in love with, and then obviously went to your store and bought everything and saw VyrmHack, and then went from there. Yeah. But Vast in the Dark 1 and 2, kind of talk about that a little bit of like, you made number 1 and then number 2 came out bigger and even more gone on with that. So what made you, we've already talked about kind of like the setting book a little bit with Veins in the Dark, but what made you want to go from 1 to 2 with that?
For that one, it was the initial zine, so it was just zine size, was about as bare boned as I could get it. It's, I think, only 28 pages or something like that. Or I might have tried to cut it down to 24.
How many pages Ryan? It's in your hand.
Well, let me take it out of the protective plastic because this one definitely deserves it. I can tell you right now, it is exactly, technically, it says 25 pages.
Okay, so it's 28.
Yeah.
So I must have not counted the chapters when I was laying it out. Anyway, that one was bare boned, and I tried to make it as like concise and polished as I possibly could. That meant I couldn't fit a whole lot of artwork into it. I think I did. Like I think I tried to fit. I fit a decent amount, but there was so much more that like I wanted to explore. But when I was making it, I was working my day job at the time, and like Mothership had come out, and like I had seen what like Sean McCoy did with like fitting as much information as he could into an actual zine format, and like I wanted to do that too. I didn't want to like. I didn't want to just like fill pages with like stuff that like I thought nobody was going to read. I didn't want to like, I didn't have room to put the artwork in. So the reason I did the bigger one was because I was being indulgent.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to do more artwork for it. I wanted to like show off more factions. I wanted to put this like weird endgame area. And I wanted more, magic, monsters, you name it. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I did have to scale up to 8.5 by 11 in order to fit all that in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's why I did it. It was, I was giving myself a treat.
Well, you kind of give us all a treat. It is a wonderful, wonderful book. I mean, I wish I could. It should be right there, but I guess it might be over there. But I can't. That's the one I couldn't find for my stack. But yeah, I mean, it is. It's bigger. It's better. It's more. And but it also, the first one's fantastic. But I think it needed all that extra stuff. I'm very glad that you decided to be a little bit indulgent with it. And
the first one was tight. I will say that it was probably the tightest publication I've ever done. Like, yeah.
That's a cool thing to expand on, though, you know?
Yeah. And you're also now doing, is the Kickstarter over for it at this point? Because I know it's kind of like a reprint, kind of like a little bit of a for Assassin's Citadel?
For Assassin's Citadel, yes. So that is that's being run by Wyrd Games. That's part of the reprint. I kind of wish I could say more on that, but I have been very hands-off with that. Not in a bad way, but just like, I mean, we're working on the third book right now. And admittedly, it's in very good hands. Like it is a co-published title. Like, you know, Wyrd Games knows what they're doing. And I'm actually admittedly kind of grateful that somebody else is like taking charge of all that. Like, I don't want to worry about shipping. I've done my time. I've done the like 2,000 backer, or maybe not 2,000, but like over 1,000 backer Kickstarters. I've shipped everything out of my living room before. I'm ready to just work on the books and ship the ones that we already ship from our house. I don't have a kitchen. I don't have a dining room. Like, it's just full of
This is like a classic like indie TTRPG like maker thing. Is like, yeah, I just have one room in the house. It's just all full of boxes of this game, you know?
Oh yeah. When I say like, I actually have to go like do inventory down at the warehouse. What I mean by that is the entire sidewall of the dining room that we have set this like, admittedly, well, this bears saying, my like co-partner in Feral Indie Studio, Alex Coggin, I would not be where I am now. Feral Indie Studio would not be where it is now without the work that she has put in shipping, organizing, and I would say like putting in like the important work, while also being a incredible painter and illustrator. Like, so, you know,
very cool.
Go Alex.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, because I mean, and then Brian is also, who is Brian Ferguson-Avery?
Oh, that's my dad.
Because you've put out some stuff from Brian Ferguson-Avery as well.
Yes, that is that's actually, he published that himself. If he wanted that cover, he got that cover. He wanted it through
which you're obviously very happy about.
I just think that I am a professional illustrator, and that because I've done I have actually illustrated one of his titles before. He did a short story called Leantown that is fantastic, and I did the cover for that, and I love that cover. And I think for Rough Jointed Beasts, I could have done an excellent cover for that as well. And also, admittedly, this is not his fault, and a lot, not just him, but like everyone, yes, there it is. Everyone who's been using Mixam has been finding out that their quality has been dropping. Not with like the stapled zines, but with the like perfect bound books. Like when he ordered those, about half of them were like falling apart by the time that we got them. And so, yeah, and so we actually had to, I believe he got like a refund for most of it. And so the ones that you are receiving are the ones that were like the binding was intact. So if we ever reprint that, one, I'm doing the cover, and two, I'm gonna find a printer and binder that will actually do it justice.
There you go.
You're like a really prolific artist, not to segue to another thing, but you're like a really incredibly prolific artist. You have like 7 or 8 like art packs for people to use on your itch. Was that just like surplus art that you had that you wanted to get out, or it just like, is that just because I know you can use them for like small publishing and stuff? Is this just a way you were trying to support like smaller creators?
Yeah, actually the latter. And I think it's especially important now with like all the AI slop that's coming out, that, you know, affording an artist to do commission artwork is sometimes completely out of the cards. It's why a lot of people have found like ways around it by using like public domain artwork that I love, or using AI art, which I despise. And at the time, it was before AI was a thing, and so now it's kind of even more important. But yes, I wanted to give creators something that, like, for $25, you can get, it's might not be everything that you want, but at least like there's some good art there. And I would like to really release more of those. I've been really busy with this third book.
Makes sense.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, like you said, that's super important. I know there's people, and I bookmark them every time, but people that have whole threads on Blue Sky of like, here's resources for like, there's a million reasons not to use AI, and here's free fonts or free / really inexpensive packs of art assets. Like, I know you have a ton, Perplexing Ruins has a ton. Like, there's a ton of stuff in this scene that when you mix it with the public domain stuff, there is zero reason to keep destroying the world and society and your brain and everything with fucking generative AI. Like, it's inexcusable if you're in any creative space whatsoever. But at the end of the day, AI is class warfare, so fucking stop.
Hell yeah.
We'll stop that rant there. So third book that you've mentioned. Are you like, can you talk about that?
Oh yeah, it's so the title is Into the Salt and Surf, and it is all about a haunted coastline and surviving an apocalypse. And by that I mean that, like, okay, we'll get into the weeds a bit. The book is in 4 parts. The first part is sort of all about like generating the coastline, the general rules for the coastline, the monsters, maybe some of the magic. Second part of the book is sort of delving into the coastline. So there is a point crawl system for entering into the deep ocean. There are coastal delves, which sort of represent the dungeons that periodically flood. Larger monsters, how you hunt larger monsters, mechanics for that. And then the third part of the book is called The Storm, and it is all about the apocalypse that comes to the shore. It can come in multiple forms. There are portents for it. There's a book by Wizards of the Coast 3.5 called Elder Evils, which is all about putting like endgame apocalypses in your game. It's incredibly thematic. I don't really know how usable it is, or if anyone was able to really use it for their games. But that is something that I wanted to put in this book of, you're actually preparing for this storm that's going to come. And then finally, the fourth part of the book is, all right, all that stuff that you've generated, all the stuff that you've created, all these NPCs that you might have made connections with, let's see who survived. Let's see what survived, and let's see what changed. And yes, I came up with this idea after COVID. So
perfect.
There you go.
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, I don't want to wax too poetic with this, but like, this is, the last book in the series. I, plan to keep making like tabletop role-playing games. Maybe I'll pivot into video games if I can ever find a coder that would want to work with me. But I don't really know what's next. This has been the plan for the last 10 years, these 3 books. We're not doing a desert book, contrary to what a lot of people say. We are not doing a fucking desert book.
Why not? Why not the desert? What's wrong with the desert?
I don't know anything about deserts. I barely know anything about coastlines.
Well, deserts are dry and they're usually full of giant worms from every other desert setting book that I've ever read.
Sam Sorensen already released a desert book that's way better than anything I could ever come up with. It's just go to that. I wish I could remember the name of it.
Seas of Sand.
Seas of Sand. Yes, it's incredible. Just go read that. That's. But yeah, no, this is like the last book in the series, and I'm not really sure what's next. So I guess it's kind of fitting that it ends with the end of the world in a fashion.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I think that's very thematic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, outside of the setting books that you have, and obviously the third one you're working on, you do have Ave Nox, which is this beautiful 2 books right here. What's funny is I backed this one and then just wanted the art for this so bad that I think I grabbed this copy at I think Gen Con. I grabbed it because I was like, it's so good. But when the special edition is like, every book does this where it's like, cool, beautiful thing, but man, look at the art on that guy right there.
It's you could have just asked me for a copy.
No, yeah.
So that's like a mega dungeon adventure thing, which also, mega dungeon adventure still kind of lets you do a little bit of the setting stuff too, because you build out this whole place. So is that kind of how you moved into doing Ave Nox? Was in the same kind of vein but being able to make it a little more playable, or what was the impetus for Ave Nox?
Well, everybody was doing mega dungeons at the time, and I don't say that cynically. I say that I was like fascinated with the idea of it, and it was like, I kind of knew like, all right, this is going to be like a lot more work than a setting book, but that's okay. I'm a big boy game designer at this point. Like I've cut my teeth with 2 books. I've got all these zines. I can do this. And Ave Nox, that thing still haunts me to this day. Because, well, okay, to answer the question, like I moved into it because like I wanted to make a mega dungeon. I like had seen the mega dungeons that were coming out, and I thought like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I were to do this from the perspective of an art historian? I took a bunch of like art histories in school. Technically, I should have minor, but the accreditation wasn't there with my school. So anyway, yeah. I mean, for what? Like, oh, great, I have an art historian. Like, I have a minor in art history. What's that going to do for me?
Hey, get a job in the museum,
Maybe, but like I don't want to. Fine, I guess. Like the important part was that I got to learn what I did, and I still hold that appreciation. The minor doesn't mean anything, but yeah, I made it because I wanted to make a mega dungeon, and then I started making it, and it sucked, and that I wish I could say I was like proud of that book, but there are so many things that like I wish I could add to it or fix. But I was so burnt out by the time I finished that book with like the balancing, the editing, it was something that like I hadn't actually like really done before, which was like a large form module. And yes, it is a setting after a fashion. And yes, there is like a story and there's lore, and I tried to show that off. But at the end of the day, it was like a slog writing all of those blocks, blocks of text, all the like monster entries, having to like cross-reference, like, scaling how much treasure there should be. And then also in the big picture thing, like kind of failing to create a dynamic environment. I think it was like idle cartulary. I'm mispronouncing that word. They did charcuterie, yes. They did a review of
Charcuterie.
it where they, God damn it!
That's the best one.
I'm trying so hard.
Charcuterie right now. That's her. Yeah.
I know the word. I know what it means. I just can't. I've never heard it out loud. Anyway, but they made the point where like all the monsters and the enemies in the book are basically Goombas. They sort of exist as like roadblocks to be overcome with violence. And they are not wrong. And I kind of wish I could have, like I said, created a more dynamic environment within the dungeon itself. I wish I could have made the settlement of Sheer on top more dynamic and changing and have points of interaction. But, you know, like I said, I was so burnt out by the time I finished that book. So, yeah.
Well, I think when you do Ave Nox 2, the Return of Solaris Rex or whatever, that's your chance to, you know.
Yeah, I think I would just do I would just do a different mega dungeon and take what I have learned, and also well, do it in a way that I should make it, not the way I think it should be made. It's no point getting into that right now. That's too into the weeds.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, very fair. I mean, I enjoy it. I think, you know, it's mega dungeons. I'm not an adventure guy kind of to begin with. We've talked about that on the show. Yeah, that he's the adventure guy. But I like mega dungeons for exactly as setting books, basically, and then just being able to do it on my own. So I really enjoy Ave Nox, partially because I would never run it as written, but like the vibes are immaculate, and it's got a lot of really incredible stuff in there. So I'm a fan. But you know, I can see what you're saying. And then one of the other things you worked on, which might be our favorite thing, the only thing, you know, we've talked about for you on the show is VyrmHack.
Oh, please. Yes. Yes, please let us talk about VyrmHack.
I love VyrmHack. Let me just tell you real quick. I really enjoy VyrmHack a lot.
Where the heck did this come from?
That was I wanted to make a skirmish game.
It's very skirmishy.
Good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And now, admittedly, like I also like I wanted it to work as a role-playing game as well. But in practice and how I play it, it is a skirmish game. So yes, this has been a little passion project that I've been working on. I will admit, yes, I was inspired by Vermis, which is why it's called VyrmHack. And probably if I end up doing something larger with it, I may change the name. But like now I've just been using VyrmHack so often that I might have to stick with that. Yes, I wanted to make a skirmish game. And I had all these ideas for skirmish games. I had things that I liked from skirmish games. I had things I didn't like. And I have been trying, it's a living document, and I've been trying to suss out a feel of a game through this that I want to play. Yes, I have some aspirations for like perhaps like combining them all into a book, doing like a large release. But ultimately, this is a game that I want to play, and I have been going mad over the last couple of years in a good way, trying to like sort of figure out like what mechanics would work best for it.
You know, it's funny, quick aside, John from Breitbart Games, super random story. I got on a plane to PAX on a connection in Chicago, and John from Breitbart, I don't know if you know him, but he's a person in the industry, was the last person to get on the plane, ended up sitting next to me, so it was cool to know someone on the way there. But we were talking about his game that he's working on, and when I got to a point in it, there was a word in it, and it was something like poop-de-doop or poopy something or whatever, and I was like, why the fuck does this say that? And he was like, because I don't want to get tied to whatever name I name it. I want to come up with a better name later, and there's no way I would ever just be like, fuck it, good enough for like poop-de-doop or something like that in the book. So when you said, I'm kind of stuck with VyrmHack now, A, it's great, but B, I was just like, yeah, if I ever do a game like that again, I'm definitely naming it like, Poopy Pants or something, so I don't get fall in love with the name. But anyway, VyrmHack.
I also wanted to say, like, what do you guys like about it? Out of curiosity,
everything,
like,
all of it. I mean, we did a whole episode about it because we loved it so much. First of all, I mean, the vibes are fucking immaculate. Like, I mean, you definitely get inspired by Vermis a bit from it, but I don't feel like it's in any way, shape, or form derivative of Vermis. I mean, who wasn't immediately inspired by Vermis when they read it the first time? Plastaboo fucking killed it.
Oh.
But I'm a big. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, I'm not like if we go to like GNS or whatever, like I'm not a simulationist with my games. I like my games to feel like games. I like my role playing games to still feel like I'm playing a game. I versus, you know, the kind of role playing games that feel like you're just getting like RP prompts all the time, which is a valid form. It's just I prefer games that still feel gamey, which is why I've kind of been shifting into Skirmish. And I felt like VyrmHack felt like a very good straddle of the line, where it felt like, to me, it definitely read more as a role-playing game that you can lean Skirmish in, but it still felt gamey, which is exactly what I want for my role-playing games to be. Is I want to still feel like I'm playing a game and then have the opportunity to role-play versus the role-play is the game. So that's one of the parts of it that I really, really loved a lot is the Skirmish aspects made it feel gamey. But then when you throw fucking Charlie Ferguson-Avery art on top of it, like, how are you not gonna love it? You know what I mean? And then just the vibes throughout. I'm such an Edgelord piece of shit. So like all the dark, creepy stuff in there, I'm just like, yes, like, feed me, Charlie. Like, that's what it felt the entire time. What about you, Hunter?
So we ran 2 sessions. I think we ended up for like a session and a half. I turned the first like several chapters of Between Two Fires, which if you haven't read.
I have complicated feelings about that book. I have read it.
Me too.
Same. Final third.
I was not ready to be as upsetted by that book as I absolutely was reading through it, and also I feel like it tapers off at the end. But
I was gonna say the final third is a bit.
But the beginning of it is like this. It's a fantastic. And I think just like the skirmish aspect of combat, because my group we've been playing so many like OSR adjacent. Add that to the counter. Like games, and like it's fun and everything, but a lot of those, the combat is not like super like filled out, but they are really great RPGs. And this really made like my table was like, oh, okay, cool, I have these options in combat and I can really like engage with combat, and it feels like that's part of like the role playing and like the actual fun of the thing is like how many options you have for combat and what you can do. Also, I just like how weird and dark it is,
I will admit, like, like I said, like, Vermis was a huge inspiration, but also I have been trying to lean into this, like, for lack of a better term, like, I know it's a meme, but 80s dark fantasy style artwork. Lots of like pencil work. I've been practicing my stippling with pens, and yes, like I know I'm not trying to make Vermis. I'm definitely inspired by it, and I know like as soon as I like start making, it's going to look like what I do, but yes, I'm glad to hear that. Also, on the topic of combat, the next expansion is going to have something called martial. I'm still trying to figure out the name, but like martial forms, where like I don't want to do classes, so instead you can actually learn these abilities that give you additional options in combat at the cost of strain. Because why should spellcasters have all the fun with like all these sort of like weird options? I feel like that's been something that like the OSR still does that, where like magic users have these additional options, combat user or melee physical combat users don't. And since melee combat is such a integral part of this game, I want to make that interesting and important. Still figuring that out, but that's the plan, and I'm glad to hear that is like a point of interest.
I think like adding on to like weapon abilities, which I thought were like a good, like a really strong like part of this, and like weapon criticals. I think it made weapons feel very fun. But I think having some more options for martial classes would be cool as well. martial spell casting, except except not, but
Yeah.
It's, I will say, art wise, I mean, so besides the fact that cover, and my gosh, that green, what a perfect choice for it. But the first page right here, like even just for the vibe, setting off the entire thing, is such an incredible piece that really did kind of set the tone for the entire game. But are you a video game person at all?
I have to say yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why? Out of curiosity.
So I'm a Metroidvania person.
Yes.
I played some Soul stuff, and I don't mind the Soul stuff, but the thing that I'm not the biggest fan of with Souls, like, and maybe I'll come to a point with this, I hate ticky-tack stat stuff like throughout games. Like, I hate being like, oh man, these boots give me +2 to fire resist, but then I lose +1 to this or that. But then you look at something like Blasphemous, which is more Metroidvania, where you just go, okay, like, I unlocked this ability that now my sword swings like twice as far, or I get double jump or something like that. The way you're talking about with VyrmHack, it gave me kind of like more of those feels where it's just like, I don't want to do a class, I don't want to do all this other stuff, but I want to give people options by maybe giving them like this or giving them that, like giving something that feels like a spell but isn't. That immediately goes ding 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 in my head, where I'm like, fuck yeah, like give me something that's cooler without making it more fucking complicated or making me have to like, pick which one is like slightly better than the other for this or that. Like,
I do not like percentages in games. I think we're playing a game about dragons and wizards and warriors. Why do we got to bring algebra into it? As someone who loves math, to be fair, yes, agreed.
Awesome. So, but then, and maybe you said it, and maybe I was like, disassociating at the time, but so Skirmish, I mean, obviously you've been doing ttrpgs for a long time. I mean, you talked about, G plus air back in the early or the mid 2010s. What really pulled you into wanting to do not only a Skirmish game, but like the Skirmish scene and everything just in general? Just like, was it like the combat aspect of it? Was it wanting to make your own? Like, what really pulls you towards that? And what kind of games have you been played lately in the scene?
I think like it's a combination of everything, especially in like the indie skirmish scene. Like one of my favorite artists, and I will call her an artist, Gardens of Hecate, Ana.
Polanšćak, I think the last name is, yeah.
Yes. Incredible stuff all around. Then there's Mold. And let me think, like Totally Not Panicking, Manic. That whole circle and various circles.
Miscast and all of those, freaking Boondock Clown Farm. Yeah.
Yes, like that's something that I want to do. Like I love the role-playing games I do. I love the setting books and stuff, but that is something that is just like, well, it kind of goes back to what you said, where it's a game. It feels like a game because it is a game and it plays like a game. And I have had so many like great moments of like fun playing board games, and skirmish games feel much more like board games. I think like I like role-playing games too, but it's a different feel. And so, but anyway, back to answering the question, I just want to do all of it. Like hell, I've even started like sculpting minis here and there.
Nice.
Not even really for like, not because I have some big plan of like, oh yes, perhaps I'll do like a release of these in white metal or something like that, but just because that is this is my hobby, and it's something that I want to make my own. And like times are tough, so like I do have to release VyrmHack, like, and I kind of prefer if people pay for it because I am doing like artwork for it, and a lot of work goes into it. But truthfully, if I could get away with it, I would just make this thing like a living document that I play and I release, and I perhaps like go to conventions and sell physical copies of the zine, but more, I want to make a game that just feels good to play for me and feels good to play for other people. And so that's kind of why I'm breaking in. It's my hobby and it's fun. And as far as games I have been playing, I've been tapping into a little bit of like 5 Leagues on Borderlands for some solo play. Recently played Trench Crusade, and
Cool.
I like it. Some complicated feelings about it as a whole for that. I don't really even think it's worth getting into right now. But it was fun.
Are you sure?
God, I don't know.
It's your time, bro. You know, however you want to use it.
Mechanically, it's very swingy. It is almost like it's senselessly grim. You know what? No, well, I think I'm gonna park it right there. Just for talk to me in person. And
this is all stream conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, this is recorded.
That's the grim part. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like honestly, I've been working a lot, so I haven't had that much time to play. Like,
you know what you got to try.
Oh,
Cauldron,
Death Cut in Stone.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that too.
You didn't even plug your own game. You plugged somebody else's game.
I'm not gonna plug my own game. Like that's how this works. I finally made a thing. It exists, and I'm just gonna pretend it never did. And if people find it cool, it's kind of how I feel about the show. But for real though, you too. Like, I've been obsessed with Cauldron. I've played it like a couple times already this week. I played it like 2 or 3 times again next week. Like, you know, Hill Giant Games with Big Boy Game Time and White Tiger Tablecraft are fucking killing it. So we'll have to get you into TTS and play some Cauldron. I think you'd be a big fan.
Like that. I have been keeping that in my sights, and there's also another game either they released or somebody connected to them released. What was it called? You play as like a bunch of like mechs from like a junkyard or something, and
there's Mech 28. There's Flames of Orion. There's
Flames of Orion. It's part of a zine called like Boss Fight or something.
Oh, Big Boy Game Time put out the Boss Fight zines.
That's it. Yes. Okay. Then it is. Yeah. Yes. But yes, I would love to play Cauldron.
Yeah. I'm literally my next goal in Tabletop Simulator is to build a map for all of the original 12 scenarios in the book. So anytime you want to hop in, I'm trying to get a campaign going, so we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, that's the holy grail of playing like a skirmish game in my mind. Like, yeah, I will admit I was debating. My friend and I were debating playing a campaign of Trench Crusade. I will admit that had less to do with the game itself and more I just really enjoy playing games with them. So but no, I would love to at some point. I would love to do which is why I'm working on it for VyrmHack, a campaigns, like an actual series of games as part of a campaign in a skirmish game. And I despite being 32 years old, I still haven't gotten that yet. Like,
just okay, you're the youngest person in this chat right now, so
I know it's just that, but it's
plenty of time.
I guess, but I'm a designer. God damn it! Like I thought that just
I'm a doctor. God damn it!
Yes. Like imagine being a surgeon and like you haven't actually like cut open anyone yet. Like it just feels wrong. Like,
well, hey, listen, if you ever want any opinions on any VyrmHack stuff, you absolutely can ask. We will give them. So
yeah,
and I've actually played it. So
yeah, I'm not a very opinionated guy. Most people say that I'm not, but if you ask me, I'll let you know.
The biggest.
I also just want to see more VyrmHack. This is just a way for me to get in to see VyrmHack shit. So
there you
go. I will say this about VyrmHack: the 2 things that I'm currently working on. So one is an expansion it's either going to be called Conflict or Bloodlust. And that is all about rules for doing like balanced skirmishes, fully competitive. There are going to be rules for additional combat maneuvers, part of like the not classes, and then I think a few more scenarios. Then the last expansion is going to be called Delve. And that is all about sort of like some dungeon crawling and potentially campaign rules for how you how you could play VyrmHack in like a world either competitively or cooperatively.
Cool.
In addition to like also there's going to be more magic and gods and all that. The gods are my favorite thing to design.
The gods.
Yeah,
Go
your gods
hard.
are nice and freaky. We do appreciate how weird they are. They're very good. So
They're just like meat, like just
Yeah. The one that's just like a torso, yeah, Salg the body. Yeah.
That ends up being the what's the term for it? That is the control for like how the rest of the gods are to be designed.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like Mario in Super Smash Brothers. You know, that's
There you go.
that's their one when they're that's like what everything else is based off of. But yeah.
Wait, really? Like,
Yeah, totally. Mario is like the base for all stats and for how all mechanics work, and then everything is a variation off Mario. So yeah.
Did you know Rhydon is that for Pokemon? Rhydon was the first Pokemon ever created, and they used it as a base for like everything.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hey, good little Pokemon trivia. You know, that's what the show's for.
I would love to see for VyrmHack more option, like some like kind of options for like lords that you serve.
I'm gonna write that down
Because I think that that's like a really cool small part of like the current VyrmHack is there's like the service to a lord section, and it's like so interesting, and then like the narrative implications are really interesting, especially if you serve a lord who's like a degraded piece of shit, you know, which none of us would know anything about that. But
we've never had a boss that was just a
yeah,
loathsome parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will have to add that. I also and this like I think it's worth like bringing up to you guys is the one thing I am planning for the campaign is actually about fighting against lords.
Ooh.
And how they represent existential threats to the world. And
It's like real
admittedly,
life.
Yeah, that's very current. So
oh yeah, but I mean, it's like the whole, of course, like that's the whole shtick is like this is just me dealing with my angst with the world of like,
that's
okay,
where the best
well,
art
there
comes
are
from, though. You know, like there's a level of true honesty and relatability to like that I think that would resonate really well. You know.
Yeah. So on one hand, I actually really do love that idea that like some lords give you like certain perks, but then I think to balance it, they would also give you certain drawbacks. And that at least like mechanically balances them. But like also moralistically, I do want options for like you don't have to serve a lord because fuck them.
Yeah.
I think that those are good options. Yeah. I mean, I love the idea of like being sworn to a lord that like you get a lot for it, but he's like, yeah, go slaughter this town, you know? And you're like, oh fuck, I cannot do that. You know?
Or you're just like, sure, yeah, cool. What do I get? You know?
You have to like make these like moral decisions and like, okay, like as my character, or am I like a good person that like sees the value in life and will turn against this lord if I need to, you know?
Yeah, that is I am not going to call it a failing of mine because I don't think it is, but like I remain incapable of designing games of like true villainy in that regards.
And that's a hard thing to hold on to though, because it's like you have to go to a dark place that you're not comfortable being in and talk about actions that no one would reasonably do. Well, I mean, none of us humans don't look at our government. That's a really hard space. It's a hard space to hit correctly without being like awful, frankly, you know.
Yeah, and it also I think
don't put slaughtering a town in that one, you know.
Yeah, and it actually
inspired by Hunter.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah, so here's the Hunter update.
Yeah,
it's all about like
yeah.
All right, so there's this like tech tree of like how many towns you slaughter and how you slaughter them, and you actually get perks based on that. And look at all the money, like
yeah. Then you gotta go build data centers, you know.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
But I think like they're these rebels, and then like they just want to be fed, you know. That's why they're rebels. It's like your lord sends you to quell this rebellion because he's holding food from the masses, you know. And like
gonna just make a couple notes
there. Yeah, dude, hey, listen, take it. It's fine. If I end up using this for anything, I still will. So,
There you go. But
I might also tap you guys to play test it at some point. Who knows?
Mike, I would be at this point. I'll be insulted if you don't.
That.
Yeah.
Please, I don't know. It just I feel bad asking people for work. I mean,
it's not work. That's fun. Yeah.
Fair enough. Like,
yeah, that would be a joy to do.
Also, the space is like, it's about like creating like these fun games and this experience and like. Yeah, creators should be paid, but like also like we all in our own ways kind of lend our energy to the space for free. Ryan and I do this show just to bring attention to stuff. You release art packs for like a very affordable price for like a lot of like really great art that also supports the space. Like doing a play test to help support a thing that we already like isn't really like work in the same way as like me going and clocking. I would never work for free for my boss,
Well, yeah, I mean, not all time has to be commodified. Like, not all hobbies have to be, and it might be like work for you, but it's hobby for us to play the games. I mean, and this is why we're like this too. Like, this is the fun part for us. We get to talk to, someone who we generally very deeply like enjoy their work and respect them as a person and as an artist. So like, this is the fun part. This is why we're not monetized, because this is the fun part, like. So,
well, now I'm getting bashful, but no, genuinely, I appreciate that, and likewise to you guys. Like, also, you just had Robbie on not too long ago. Not to like.
Yeah, we did the whole. I was chatting with the whole Hinterlight team for Gossamer Coast over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I hate to end on this beat, but like I do have to go in a little bit, but I did want to say like thank you for having me on, and this has been like really fun to talk about it. And I'm also like I'm so glad to be able to talk about VyrmHack, because I'm not going to say the rest of the stuff that I do is just work, because I'm very passionate about that and I love it too. But VyrmHack is, like I said, it's I'm doing that because it's my hobby and I love it. And I look forward to sharing more of it.
Well, hey, listen, in the future, if you would win and if you do release more VyrmHack stuff, please come back on and we'll talk about it some more. You have a lot of really great stuff that we didn't even touch on. We didn't even talk about, like, what am I thinking of? What am I blanking about? As the God Demands? As the God.
Oh, God, I love that one. That's actually fun. Yeah.
I love hacking clerics to not be clerics and have to make big sacrifices to do cleric shit. Yeah. Just so you know, I do have several of your books, but my bookshelf is currently blocked with boxes because we moved in like a month and a half ago and haven't unpacked everything. So
Jesus, like
one day.
I can't get away from them at this point. They fill in the space. So
sort of like every minute they sort of get closer and
No, yeah, they do. They really do. But no, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. Again, like, please come on again anytime. Just hit me up and you come play the game on the stream. Come talk about the game on the stream. Permanent invite to just, come on once a month. I don't care. Like, we love your stuff. You're genuinely wonderful. So we really, really appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate that.
And where can people find your stuff? Like, where can they find Feral Indie Studio, and where can they find all of the stuff that we've been talking about?
We have a website, feralindystudio.com. So there's that, and then there's also I highly recommend checking out, like, we have an itch, feralindystudio.itch.io. Alex has an itch page as well. I think it's AE Coggin illustration at itch.io. Anyway. She also has a Patreon. If you're interested in her artwork, just look up her name, Alex E. Coggin illustration on Patreon. And aside from that, I think I think you could physically buy some of our books on IPR, but the rest of them you can buy actually directly from us on our website.
There you go. Gotta take the long walk to the warehouse and and mail.
Yeah, I am due for some more coffee down there anyway. So
There you go. But yeah, like I said, thank you. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. I hope we get the chance to do this again.
Definitely.
Likewise. Thank you. Yes. If that open invite exists, I will take it.
Please
Yeah,
please
please
do. But yeah, so that has been us for today. All the links will be where you think links are on the internet. And we will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.